Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is James, and welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you're wanting to create raving fans, if you want to explode your channel, if you want to understand your audience better and grow on YouTube, today we're going to be taking you through some of the biggest mistakes that people make. I'm going to be showing you one of my own channels and one of my own videos, and we're going to dive deep into understanding your audience, understanding some things that you can tweak, and understanding what it is that makes your channel grow. So I hope that these things help you. If you're coming in, make sure you say hi in the chat so I can see you. If you're new here, if you found us through search, or if you're new to our channel, make sure you leave us a comment and let us know what you think about what we're talking about today. We have been looking at and talking to a lot of people and talking to people about their channels and what it is that's making their channels grow, what's making people get more engagement on their channels, what's making people connect with their audience. And the number one thing that we can do to get there and to get that engagement, to get that connection with the audience, is simply to dive into understanding how people are already reacting to our content. And YouTube gives us the tools that we need to understand that, but most people don't understand those tools. And those tools are our analytics. Our analytics inside YouTube tell us exactly what our audience wants. And they tell us how to improve our content if you learn how to read your analytics. So we're going to take a look at one of my videos, and it's on the surface, it looks like it's one of the best videos on my channel, but it's actually one of the worst performing videos on my channel. So we're going to break it down and we're going to look at the actual performance of the video and show you how I utilize that data to better serve my audience going forward. So I hope y'all are having a great day. We really want to help people build an audience full of raving fans. Hello, Marie. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a great day up in Washington. So how do you create the audience? How do you engage your audience? This is a video that I did almost a year ago, and I'm sitting here looking at the analytics, and it's just driving me insane. Let me stop that video and let me pull it up here. We are going to go to full screen. I'm going to show you this video. This is a video I did on my storage scavenger channel about a year ago. And this video is, notice one of the things that we're looking at when we're looking at our analytics. Let me go back here. All right, so if I get back to the beginning of my analytics, all right, this video has gotten 644 views since it was published. Okay, that's good if it's the right views. But a lot of people, the reason why their videos don't get more views, or they don't get more subscribers, or they don't get more people joining, is because sometimes YouTube doesn't show it to the right people. So the keyword I targeted, one of the first things that you look at is, let's go to the reach tab, and you want to look at your impression count. This had over 11,000 impressions, which is really, really good. This is a year-old video. That's a good number. But I see a lot of people that are wondering why nobody's engaging in their content, that wonder why nobody is paying attention to their videos. And they have like 500 impressions, 600 impressions. If you're under 1,000 on this impressions, you don't need to be worrying about subscribers or watch time or click-through rates. You need to worry about how to get your video showing up in front of more people. And how do you do that? That's where keywords come in. Keywords, if you go right here to TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy is a tool that I use to do keyword research. Now, this one on this particular channel, I do not have the pro membership set up on TubeBuddy. I have it set up on my other channel. But if you go right here to the Keyword Explorer tool, you can type this in and it'll help you see what people are searching for. So, for example, on this video, the keyword that is kind of targeted, and this was before I started diving into keyword research, so I wasn't really targeting a keyword, but I started looking at, okay, what is the keyword that I am showing in the actual video? I put death pile challenge into search. And what I'm looking at is this is the overall optimization for the banner. So you got a pretty decent search volume. Competition is so. The optimization strength is good. We go to the search results and we look at some of the top. There's Lobster, Thrifty Lobster. He's actually one of the channels that I follow in the niche. Simply Dana. I know a bunch of these channels that are showing up. This is couple of pickers, which is Lisa and Rob. I know them from the channel. And right here is my video ranking number 7 for Death Pile Challenge. Now, that far down in the listings, I don't get a whole lot of views from there, but at least I'm showing that I'm well optimized for that particular keyword phrase, and I am showing up. I can also look in my description. I can see right here, okay, I didn't put a space in death pile in my description, which hurts my ranking for that particular keyword. I should have optimized that better, and that probably would have bumped me up just a little bit into the search listings. But then it's also when people search for the term, how do people react? So this is the first thing you want to look at is your impressions. Is YouTube showing it when people search for your content? This is looking at a keyword, but this right here, the keywords that you target is one of the biggest things. How many videos do I see almost every day that say something like working hangout, live chat, hang out with us, let's party, things like that is a title of their video. If you're doing that, you're not optimizing your channel and your content for new viewers. You're not optimizing for people that are trying to find you. 70 to 80% of your traffic should be people that have never heard of you before, coming from search, coming from recommended videos, coming from outside sources. If 70 to 80% of your traffic is already subscribed to you, you're not going to grow because people aren't going to see who you are. People aren't going to know who you are, and they're not going to find you. So that's what you got to do. You've got to optimize your keywords for search to get those impressions. That's where you go and use a tool like TubeBuddy. You can find out what people in your niche are searching for and craft your titles around that. Now, you don't just want your keywords alone in the title. It needs to be something that's going to compel somebody to click. So instead of just putting, keywords like get more views, or if I was doing YouTube search, if I was doing for my YouTube growth channel, if I just put get more views and that was the title of my video, well, people aren't going to be compelled to click on that and come check out my channel. So this is where you need a longer title. It still has those keywords in it, but it needs to be compelling to give people a reason to want to click. Why do they want to get more views? What is it that they're going to benefit from clicking on that? And where is the emotional attachment to the problem that they're having that you're trying to solve with that keyword? When you do that, and when you start looking into what people are searching for and how to connect with people on an emotional level, then you can start looking at the next part of our analytics, which is going to be, let's close this out, impression click-through rate. That's going to tell you what percentage of your viewers are actually clicking. The two things that you need to look at with your impression click-through rate is how compelling your title is, which we just talked about, and how compelling your thumbnail is. The thumbnail that you have and the title you have for your video are the two most important things to get this combination of impressions and click-through rate correct. And if these are too low, you don't need to be worrying about how many views you have. You don't need to be worrying about how many subscribers you have. You need to be worried about how do I increase my impressions and my click-through rate. Those are the two most important things when you're first starting out to getting to find your audience. How are you going to do that? By diving into understanding your niche, by getting out there, doing that keyword research, but also engaging people. This is why I spend so much time on live streams talking to people. I get on the live streams and I start talking to people in my niche, and I learn the language that they're using when they're asking questions, and I learn what kind of questions they have, and I'm always taking notes of questions that people are asking in the chats, especially the questions that the channel owners themselves are not answering when I'm on other people's channels. Whenever I'm engaging people in the chat, I'm always taking notes of what questions people asked that didn't get answered, because that gives me ideas of things people are looking for that they need help with, and that I can go to search tools and see what people are searching for. And a lot of people look at some of the keywords I target and they're like, oh, well, the search volumes are too low for that keyword. Not enough people are searching for it. If it has any search at all, a lot of those smaller keywords have less competition for them. And so it's going to be easier to rank for them. And I don't know about you, but I would rather have 10 videos bringing me 10 visitors a day than 100 videos all targeting high volume keywords bringing me zero visitors a day, because nobody is watching them and nobody's looking for those terms. Now, when we start looking at search, we also want to look at our analytics and see what search terms our keywords are targeting and what YouTube is serving those keywords to. And this is why my video did so poorly. I want you to see this video. It looks great on the surface because I've had all this growth over the last year of 650 views. But look here, audience retention. Once you start building those click-throughs, you need to look at your audience retention. If you can see right here, okay, in the first, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute of my video, I lost over 80% of the views to this video within the first minute of the video. This is actually, it looks great on the surface when you see all the view numbers, but within 1 minute, I lost 80% of those viewers. That was horrible results. Absolutely horrible. Now, the great thing is from there on out, it stays fairly steady, a couple of spikes here and there. It does slowly drift off towards the end. But look, it fairly well stayed steady once I got past that first minute. So I need to know, what did I do within that first minute that lost so many people? There's two things that should be in the first minute of your video. And what you do is you click on the read more. It's going to bring up your audience retention graph with the actual video itself. And if you click on play, as the video plays, I can see my audio is terrible. I have wind blowing. And then I have this intro. And so this intro comes up. And how long does that intro last? Forever. Dragging on, dragging on. Okay, so 20 seconds. We're at 18 seconds in. I'm talking to the camera and I'm rambling. And you can hear the wind hitting my microphone. So this is telling me two things. One, I'm rambling way too much in the early part of my video. 30 seconds in, and I probably would have clicked away too, because the audio sucks. And then two, I'm rambling. I didn't hook the audience into my video. And because I didn't hook the audience into my video, and because I didn't tell them something that was compelling to keep them watching, and then I had this long intro that was almost 20 seconds long, and then I had this rambling part where I was just rambling onto the camera before I got into the content. By the time I got 1 minute into the video, I had already lost 80% of the traffic that came to see that video. That will kill your channel. Losing 80% of your viewers before they even see your content is going to kill your channel before it even has a chance. So if you're wondering why your channel is not growing, you need to look at your impressions, look at your click-through, and look at your audience retention report. Those are going to tell you how your audience is responding to the content you're putting out. Now, when you have a lot of subscribers, the more subscribers you build, the higher those numbers should be initially, because that means more of your subscribers are coming back to watch your content when they get that notification that you put out something new. This is how you build those loyal fans, is by compelling your subscribers to come back and watch your videos. How do you build those raving fans? One, you provide an insane amount of value to the people that are coming and watching you. You keep those people engaged. You give them a reason to come back. You want to make your content to where not only do they stay on that one video, but then at the end they want to watch another one. And at the end of that one, they want to watch another one. So they're binge watching your content. If your content's not compelling, if you're not hooking people within that first 30 seconds, if you're putting a long 20, 30, 40-second intro in there, test taking that stuff off. Test trying to do something that's going to compel people to watch your video right off the bat. If you're telling a story, maybe you give a teaser of the climax of the story. Like when I'm doing my unboxing videos, if I find something really, really cool that's going to be near the end of the video, I might give a teaser of me finding it and cut it off right before they actually see what it was I found. That kind of hooks people into it. And then I tease that throughout the video. And then when they get down to that end, that's when right there near the end of the video, that's where I'm going to reveal what it was that I teased them with in the beginning. Now, I've done this before the wrong way, and I lost people because I did it where I did this little teaser of something really great that I found in a unit, but then I showed what I found like within the first 2 minutes of the video. Well, now the hook is over and I close that loop. And unless I open another loop, unless I gave them some other compelling reason to continue watching, a lot of the traffic leaves. Now, what I did with this other video and what happened with this other video is YouTube kind of showed it to the wrong audience. And part of it's my fault for optimization and not understanding optimization when I did this video. But let me show you again where this video really, really failed. Search. You got to look at YouTube traffic search volume. Look at the keywords that YouTube was serving this video to. Dog pile challenge, dog pile challenge, dog pile challenger, dog pile challenge. So over 70% of those views that came from the wrong search terms that are totally unrelated to my topic. No wonder I lost 80% of the traffic to this video. Now, the great news is the traffic that did come in off of the right storage auction, storage unit finds, a lot of the traffic that came in through the right search terms actually stayed and watched my video all the way through. So that means I did, once they got past that initial minute, they did get engaged in my content. They did stay and watch my content when it got served to the right people. So that's a good thing to look at. But see, one of the strategies that I was told by one of the other channels that I follow, and I respect their opinion a lot, by the way, was to base my content strategy solely on the most viewed videos, and look at the most viewed videos and make more of those videos. The problem is, if YouTube served those videos to the wrong people, you could have a ton of views and lose most of your traffic. So it really didn't connect with your audience. But on the surface, if you just look at the view count, it looks like it connected really well. But in reality, it didn't. So now when I'm looking at how this is how I decide what I'm going to do for my next piece of content, by the way. I look at a combination of the number of views, the number of impressions, the number of views, the click-through rate, and the total watch time, and the watch time and where I lost people. When you start combining all those, you get a good idea of how your audience actually responded to your content. Now, if you're new to all this, it can sound really, really complicated, but it takes a little bit of time. But you really need to start learning how to read your analytics. But don't sit here and stare at these all day. I only spend about 1 hour a week looking at my analytics, and I look into it, and this is how I'm looking at it. Those are the factors that I'm looking at during that hour across all of my videos, and figuring out what's the next piece of content I like. So the next piece of content that I'm creating is going to be based on how many people responded to my content, how many people viewed that piece of content, and how long they stayed engaged in that content. And if I had something that had a moderate view count, but it had a lower number of impressions, so I had a higher click-through rate. Like I have some videos that have like a 10%, 8%, 9% click-through rate on my thumbnail, but they didn't get as many impressions. Well, if that's high of a impressions, even though it didn't have as many views, because it had less impressions, I still had a higher percentage of views. And if those people stayed for 70% of my video, then that means that they were highly engaged in what I did. So that's how I'm going to decide. That's a topic that people were interested in. They stayed engaged. They asked questions. That's something I'm going to make another piece of content about, because that's going to help me grow my channel. That's going to help me build more people. I had somebody come into my live stream just the other day on my other channel. I'm not going to call them out by name. Those who were there may know who I'm talking about. And they said that they had the best channel, best content in the niche, and that nobody liked their channel and they were about to give up on YouTube. And I referred them over to my channel, but I did go check out their channel afterwards. Now, I'm not going to go back through everything I went through last week during my live stream. So you can go check the replay on that about the traffic explosion and how to set your channel up for success. He hadn't done any of the things I talk about in that video on his channel. There was no channel art at all. There was no subscribe call to action. You look at his front page on his channel, and there was like 5 videos, and they were all low view count videos. I didn't realize from looking at his homepage that he had more than 5 videos. Then I look over on the video tab, and he has like 100 videos, but there's no keywords, nothing searchable in any of his titles. So none of the terms that his titles were targeting were searchable. Thumbnails were non-existent. They were just random screen grabs that YouTube decided to throw up there because he didn't intentionally make thumbnails for his channel. There's nothing intentional to gain subscribers in how he put together his content. I watched a few of his videos and it took over 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You saw my other video. If you're not getting their attention within the first minute, you're losing 80% of your viewers. And it was 5 minutes before he got into the content that he promised in the title, and before he got into what his video was about and shared anything of value. You've got to cut out the crap. You've got to get to the point, and you've got to get the channel optimized to bring viewers in, keep their attention, and keep them going through your content. Now, once you get to this point, hello, Adrian. I hope you're having a great day. You're doing a great job with your channel, engaging, helping people, showing new things. You're doing a great job. So once you get there, one of the things that I like to do, and I started doing this with my own channel, is I kind of came up with a formula that's how I create my content, and it's helping keep myself more organized with my content. It's helping me to have a better flow to my content, and it's also helping keep my viewers more engaged. So that content formula is very simple. First, you have that hook. That's that opening statement that's going to tell people why they need to listen to your channel. And that hook needs to be compelling. It needs to not just tell them, what, and if you already know your keywords, you should be repeating those keywords during that hook. That's going to keep them engaged on your channel. Because if they search for a term and then you're telling them that exact same term in the first 30 seconds they're on your video, then that's going to keep them engaged. But then the other thing is you need to make an emotional connection. You need to tell them what it is you're going to tell them, and tell them how that pain or that topic is going to be painful for them if they don't solve it, and that you're going to teach them how to solve that problem in your video. What you're here to tell them, and you're there to connect with them on an emotional level. The second thing you want to do once you get past the hook is then you kind of do your introduction. And this is the part of the video. Some people say you don't have to do this, and here's the reason why I do. You want to tell people who are coming to your channel why they should listen to you in the first place. No, Wes, this is not an auction. This is not even an auction channel. Thank you for coming, though. I appreciate you. So, one of the things you got to do once you get on past your hook is you've got to introduce yourself and tell them why they should listen to what you have to say. Now, it doesn't mean where a lot of people screw up, and I've screwed this up myself, and I've learned from this, is when I tell them who I am. Now, I'm not introducing, I'm James, and this is what my whole channel is about, and subscribe and all that stuff. I do all that stuff, but I do it a little bit later. But now what I'm recommending to do, and what I'm trying to do more of myself, what I'm trying to do more of myself was to engage the audience and again renew what the video is about and explain why they should listen to me about it. Okay. So for example, I'm showing you my own video and where I failed with this video and how you can avoid this yourself. It's one of the things I said in the very beginning of this video. So today I'm going to show you how I did that. And if you want to see more of that kind of stuff, then you can go ahead and click subscribe. But come on down. Now we get into the content. We start showing what the problem is. We explain what the problem that you're trying to solve with your video is, why it's important that they solve this problem, and what pain it's going to help them solve in their lives, and show that you understand the pain that they're going through, that you understand and that's how you're going to connect with people. That's how you're going to get people engaged with you, because if people feel like they can trust you, that you're a trusted resource for information, and they feel like you understand their pain, they're going to be more willing to trust what you have to say, and they're going to be more willing to listen to what you have to say. Now, that's an important distinction to make, and we'll talk about the rest of that distinction here in just a few minutes. But you want to make that connection with people. Once you got that connection and you've got people understanding why they should listen to you, now you want to start telling them what the problem is and start telling them what they need to do to fix the problem. And this is where you go through your steps, whatever your video is, and really dive into your content. And I recommend doing this in a way that's going to continue keeping it interesting. This is where you want to show those B-roll clips. You want to show the things that are going to help engage them and keep them flowing through your content. Tease some little things that are coming up later in the content, which I don't know if you noticed, I just did that myself. And that way it's going to help draw people through your content. One great thing about that video I was showing you just a minute ago is I did notice once I got past that first minute, the people that watched stayed engaged through the entire video. So I was able to, once I got them engaged, once I actually got into the content and I started following that content, they stayed engaged through the whole video, which was a good thing. The only problem was that 80% of the people were gone before they got to that point. So you got to hook them. You got to keep them good. And you're still going to have points of high drop off, but you can look at that audience retention report and it's going to show you where you're losing people. And you can really dissect what it was that you did that cost you viewers on your video. Yeah, go back and watch the replay. I showed you one of my other videos and I kind of broke down the analytics on that video and what I'm looking at when I'm diving into the analytics. And that's an important part. But then once you get to understanding the analytics, now you have to understand how to keep people engaged and really turning people into raving fans. And this is really why I have people that came from my storage scavenger channel that don't even have YouTube channels that are now watching me on this channel, is because I've built that relationship with people that want to come back and see what I have to say, that trust what I have to say because I've built value to them in some way. And it's because I'm constantly trying to connect better with the audience. This is why I go to so many live streams, y'all. It's not about getting views on my channel. It's not about the traffic I get, the subscribers I get. Those things are nice, and sometimes it's a byproduct of me going to live streams, but I go to live streams that don't even know I have a channel. I go to live streams, I never even mention my channel. And the reason why is because I'm learning more and more and more about my audience so I can make that better connection with them. I'm in there talking to people that are in my ideal audience so I can understand their pain better, so I can understand what they're struggling with. And I can find the questions. And this is hugely important, especially if you're a small channel. You find the questions that the bigger channels, that the other channels in your niche are not already answering. Because I go into, even here in this YouTube niche, I can go to a channels. I was on Nick Nimmin's live just the other day. I got a list of about 10 questions that he never addressed and answered in his live stream. And I started looking. There's sometimes huge search volumes and no search traffic for some of the, or no search optimization for some of these things that people are asking about, because people aren't addressing those problems in their videos. And sometimes the videos that are ranking by default, and they're totally unrelated to the question. I have a whole list of keywords I found this way that I'm creating content around, because it's answering direct questions people are asking and nobody in the niche is answering. And you can find it in some of the most competitive niches online. And that's how you can set yourself apart from the competition, by answering those questions, by helping people with the things nobody else. When I started teaching how to do storage auctions on the storage unit, on the storage scavenger, it wasn't because I was the best person. It wasn't because I was an expert. In fact, even here, I'm not here to tell you I'm an expert at YouTube growth. I'm here to tell you that I'm in the same boat you are. I'm learning how to grow my channel and I'm sharing my experience with you. And I do the same thing with that channel. I'm just sharing my journey. I'm sharing what I've learned through my own journey and from doing it. Okay. The reason I started teaching how to do storage units is because you see tons of videos that are just cleaning out storage units, and they're doing unboxings and they're showing off all the stuff they find, but none of them were teaching how to do it to other people. And there was a ton of search traffic wanting to know how to start in the business themselves. It's something that set me apart from all the other channels. So I don't have to be the best because I'm the only one doing it. I did something that nobody else in the niche was doing. They might have one or two videos doing it, but their whole channel wasn't about that. So I started building my whole channel around teaching other people how to do the business. That's why I do live streams on how to run auctions, how to list on eBay. Part of it's because I'm trying to teach people. These are all things I'm learning how to do in my business and in my storage unit business. So, and I'm still sharing my storage unit finds and that kind of stuff, but I'm also teaching people that are interested in learning how to do the storage units through that channel, how I do it and what I've learned and the mistakes I've made and what we've done to overcome those mistakes. And because of that, I've built a fairly small audience in the niche, but it's a highly engaged audience that comes back to see what I have to say. They want to know more. They're sharing my content with other people. And a bunch of them followed me over here to a new channel when they're not even trying to run a YouTube channel. But because we had built that relationship, because I had, touched on their pain points and I had shown them how to overcome their pain points and I had given them successful advice, then they were willing to trust me enough to come over here and watch my content here. That's a good way. That would be a great way you could focus, and you could do the two things that you want. You can still do homesteading content, but how to do a homesteading content on YouTube, it defines you as somebody separate from, say, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, me, all the other YouTube growth channels, because you're specifically focusing in on the homesteader niche. That's a great idea, Adrian. And you can talk to them in language they understand because you're involved in that niche as well. And that's something you can do. Now, the next step that you can do is, this is something, if you're going to be a content creator, especially an educational content creator, where you're trying to teach something through your content, this is something you need to understand. And I kind of tease to this in a minute. You want to get people engaged and you want to get people liking what you say and listening to what you say. But here's a small fact that's kind of saddening, but it also gives you some opportunity if you look at it the right way. Less than 10% of the people who watch your videos are actually going to take your advice and apply it to their life. I know less than 10% of the people that watch this video are going to apply what I'm talking about to their own channel. It's sad because that's why there's such a small percentage of people succeeding. And nothing I'm telling you is new. Everything I'm telling you, I've heard from all the other guys and all the other bigger channels in the niche. I'm saying it maybe in a different way, and I'm piecing things together in a different way so people might have a little better understanding of it. But everything I'm saying is nothing new at all. But less than 10% of the people that hear what I have to say today are going to actually apply it to their channel. And the same thing is going to be true with your channel, no matter what you're teaching. If you're teaching homesteading, if you're teaching reselling, if you're teaching how to do stuff, you have to accept that less than 10% of the people that watch your videos are actually going to apply what you're teaching them to their business and are actually going to see any results from it, because if all they watch it, this is true. If I looked at some statistics just the other day, less than 10% of the people that buy a personal development book or program actually ever even read or complete the program. Less than 10%. And out of the 10% that actually complete it, only about 5 to 10% of those people actually apply what they learned and utilize the information that they were given. And these are people that paid sometimes hundreds and thousands of dollars for a program, and less than 10% of them applied that information. And when you're doing free information like we are with our YouTube channel, those numbers go even down further because people don't value the information that they didn't invest in. This is why we do memberships. This is why we write ebooks and sell courses. We can sell the exact same information in a course that we give you for free on our channel, but because you paid for it, you're going to value it more and you're more likely to apply it. But not so much more likely than everybody that does it. So just accept, you have to accept, if you want a long-term success as a content creator, you have to accept that the majority of people who consume your content will not do what you're telling them to do. And so they won't see the results you're telling them they can get. And sometimes, and this is an even sadder part, and this is the part I'm dissecting right now and trying to figure out if there's a way to tweak it. A large portion of the people who don't apply it will believe that they did. And I've seen this. How many times do I go through the comments on Nick Nimen's channel or Dean Nimen's channel or Daniel Batal's channel, and I see people saying, I applied everything you said. Quote, I applied everything you said and it still didn't work. And you click on their name and you check out their channel and they haven't done a single thing that they said. I've had this experience in my own channel. I've had people leave those comments on my channel. I've tried what you're saying to do and it didn't work. And I click on their channel and I go look at their channel and they haven't done a single thing I told them to do. And then they wonder why they're not seeing success. See, you bought the book. That's a great step. You've got to learn it. But I don't recommend, this is how I do how-to videos, how I do how-to books. I don't recommend sitting down and trying to read the whole book because you're going to get information overload. Instead, read one chapter. Watch one video. Read one chapter or watch one video. If you're reading Brian G's book, this is a great example. Read chapter 1. Then go back and look at your channel and see, are you really applying what he taught in that chapter to your channel? After you've done that and you've applied what he said in chapter 1, then go back and read chapter 2 and do the same thing and repeat that process. It will take you longer to get through the whole book. But if you do that, you're already killing it, Adrian. You're already killing it with your channel. I've been following your growth. You're doing an amazing job. But if you do that, you'll grow even faster. It'll seem slow at first because you're learning. This is why so many people don't get what we're trying to do, because you're learning. You have to understand when you're in a learning phase, things are going to go slow. Once you learn it, it gets faster, it gets easier. The more repetition, Tony Robbins always said in all of his programs, Repetition is the mother of skill. The more you repeat it, the more you do it over and over and over again, the better you're going to get at the skills, the better you're going to develop, the better you're going to get. And it doesn't matter if it's recording, editing, creating engagement with your audience. All of these things are skills that we have to learn when we start a YouTube channel. And as you continue doing that, and as you get better at presenting your information, as you get better at talking to people, at getting to know the problems in your niche, as you get better at recording and editing your content, more and more and more people are going to want to watch you. And that's when the snowball starts going. That's when you start triggering the algorithm. That's when you have a video that goes from having, maybe 100 views or 1,000 views or 5,000 views, and then all of a sudden you put out a video and it just hits all the right chords, and you get 15 to 20,000 views on one video, and you get 100 subscribers off of that video. Some is better than none. Get out there, get to know people, and keep moving forward. I love that, Cha-Cha. They do it halfway, or they don't put their own flavor to it. You're right. A lot of people either halfway apply it or they don't apply it at all. And if you do this, and if you understand this, you're going to be a lot better as a content creator, because you're not going to become emotionally invested in the people that are not succeeding. And you're not going to become fighting tooth and nail into trying to make people get it, into making people understand it. I know a lot of people are going to listen to what I say. They're going to say, "Oh, that was great. That was great information," but they're not going to apply what I told them. They're not going to go out and do the things I'm telling them to do. And that's okay. I've accepted that, and I've been okay with that. Now, if those people come to me and ask me for help, I'll refer them back to the same videos they've already watched that told them how to do what they need to do. But at the same time, I have actually, 10 years ago when I first started, I was teaching these same things with blogging. A lot of what I'm teaching right now with YouTube, I was teaching 10 years ago with blogging. It worked back then, and it still works now for the most part. The technology has changed in 10 years. The way we do it has changed. But back 10 years ago, I was actually doing coaching services where I was coaching people through how to do this. And I can tell you, these numbers stay true. Only about 10% of the people I coached actually applied it. Now, some of those people that I coached 10 years ago are now running successful businesses, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, because they followed a lot of the principles, and they took it further. They learned deeper than what I was able to take them, because I was just helping people get off the ground and get started. And then they learned deeper strategies. They learned bigger strategies. But some of the people that did apply what I told them are now very successful in their business. The people that didn't, they don't even exist on YouTube anymore. They don't exist on the internet anymore. They quit online business because they didn't see success, because they didn't apply the strategies that we're talking about. And that's one of the things you're going to learn. You're going to see people, and then you're going to have people. I had this one client. I actually got to the point where I told him I would not help him anymore, because every time he would come and hire me to coach him, it was the same thing. And we went through like 4 or 5 coaching sessions together. And the last coaching session, I was telling him the exact same things I told him in the first coaching session. And he never went and applied any of it to his business. So we never saw any results. And then he comes back to me again saying, "I want to hire you again. I want you to coach me some more." I was like, "Why? I've already told you 5 times what you need to do, and you haven't done it yet. If you want my help." And one of the things I always did with my coaching sessions, I always did my coaching sessions via Skype, and I had a recording of the coaching session. So one of the things that they always got when I did coaching one-on-one with people was they got a copy of the recording, so they could go back and listen to the replay as they were trying to understand things, and as they were trying to, apply what we talked about and apply the strategies we talked about through the coaching. I also gave them a written outline that I created myself off of the coaching session that gave them a step-by-step action plan to apply what I just talked to them about in the coaching session. That was all part of my coaching package. This guy had the same coaching package 5 times in a row, and he hadn't done any of the things in that action plan. So why am I going to take your money and waste my time and your time if you're not going to apply what I'm teaching you. And so I fired the client. And I told him, I'm sorry, I can't work with you anymore. If you're ready to apply, once you have applied everything we've already talked about in our previous sessions, then I will talk to you and we'll look at taking things further. But all I can tell you from here on out is to do the exact same things we've already talked about. The great thing about that is I found after a while, this is where people start writing books and start creating courses, because 9 times out of 10, when you start doing coaching, you start figuring out that about 75 to 80% of what you tell a coaching client is the exact same thing you told the last client and the client before and the client before. Very little of it is actually specific to that individual person, because it's kind of general across the platforms of how you do stuff. And so this is something you can incorporate into your business. Hello, Joyce. I hope you're having a great day. But something you can incorporate into your business is understanding, start creating an ebook, start creating something that you can sell off your channel to monetize. One, that actually helps build your authority within the niche. I found that even though I wasn't the best at what I was doing, when I published my first ebook, my authority, the perception of authority that I had, because I had an ebook out there, because I had a product that I had created based on my own experience, and because it did help some people with the people that did buy it, I didn't have to have huge sales of it. I didn't have to have this huge product launch and have all these sales and make a ton of money off of the book. But because of that, it increased the perception of authority that I had with people. And that helped create more trust and more people that were willing to come in and listen to what I had to say and take action on some of the things that I had to say. And the more you can put things in place, monetization isn't just about the money you make. Sometimes it's about the authority you create and the perception of authority you create by the things that you do. That's one of the things that I learned. And I've got some stuff. I've already started writing an ebook on the stuff I'm talking about here. I've started working on some things that I'm going to monetize my channel with for this channel. And I've already started building those things. It's going to take me some time to put it all together. But all the strategies in my video, everything I'm talking about in those books is the same stuff in my free content. But because I have that perception, because I have a product, then that changes the perception people have of me. And that's why creating courses, writing ebooks, either creating a digital course, doing those kind of things can help you to grow your channel. It can help you to grow your authority within the niche. You don't have to be an expert. You just be a trusted friend that's just sharing your experiences because you're 1 or 2 steps ahead of them. And when you do that, and when you take the trusted friend, the great thing about not being an expert is I'm not expected to be perfect. So I can share my mistakes and I can share when I fall down. And I can connect with people on a level that the experts aren't able to. Because I'm just a few steps ahead, I can teach you in a different level how to do things. And that's one of the things that sets you apart from those other experts, from those people that are trying to be an expert. Because I see channels that are smaller than mine trying to pretend that they're an expert on YouTube growth and the way they create their content. And it just says, okay, you've got like 20 subscribers on your channel with 100 videos, and you're telling me you're an expert at growth? How do you have that many videos and only 20 subscribers? I have no trust in you. I have no respect for you because you don't have authority to back up your claims. It makes you more real. It sets you up. That's one of the things. I wrote an ebook actually about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. It didn't do very well. I didn't hit the right chords with people. I didn't connect with people in the right way about it. But the title of the book was How to Create Authority Without Being an Expert. And it was the same principles of what I'm talking about here. It's about building a perception of authority and building authority through perception rather than through being an expert and being, the guru, trying to be a guru. I'm not trying to be a guru, but you can build yourself up. How did you back up your authority when you started this channel? When I started this channel, the way I grew my channel, the way I started this channel, and I'm still showing, is by sharing my experience. That's why I talk so much about my storage scavenger channel, because I've built up that channel I'm not here telling people how to build a 100,000 subscribers. I can help you get started. I can help you start building community. I can help you build an engaged audience. Yeah, I only have 854, 55, something like that, as of yesterday, subscribers on that channel. But I have that channel that has that much authority. And I talk to channels all the time that have been doing it for a year. I have a channel I was just talking about earlier that's been doing it for longer than I have, and they all have 120 subscribers on their channel. I've grown faster than some. I know other channels that started since I have that now have 10,000 subscribers. So I'm not saying I'm, better than everybody else. I don't try to be better than anybody else. One of the worst things you can do to actually destroy your authority within the niche is start comparing yourself to other channels. And I'm not trying to compare myself to other channels in my mind or in how I engage my audience. I am who I am. I'm growing at the rate I'm growing, and other channels can do better or worse than I am based on what they do with their channel. There's a lot of other people that think that there's competition. I learned a long time ago, my only competition is me. And the only competition I have with myself is me, what I do today versus what I did in the past. Am I improving every single day? Can I say this video today is better than the last video I put out? That's the only competition I worry about. How am I compared to what I was before? How am I more engaging? How am I more informative? How am I connecting with the audience better? Those are the things that set me apart. I only have, as of this morning, I have 54 subscribers on this channel. Okay. And I'm okay with that. I've only had this channel for 5 weeks. And I know other channels. I mean, Adrian, you blew up quick. Part of that's the niche. A lot of that's going to be your niche. I've had also explosive growth on my storage scavenger channel, and then it went dead for a few months. And then I had another cycle of explosive growth, and then it went dead for a month. You're going to have waves of growth and waves of just kind of steady and maintain it. I try to be that, and that's exactly what I try to be, Adrian. I appreciate that because that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That's what you want to do with your channel. That's what you want to do with your audience. Try to be their friend instead of being an expert that's above them. Try to be their friend. Talk to people like they're real people. Have a conversation with them. And that's the game, how to build authority without being an expert. That's basically the basics of what the book was about, was how to engage people in a conversational way, how to have conversations and open dialogue with your niche so that they trust you and respect you, and they come back to hear what you have to say because of the way you teach them. Some of that means, and sometimes you have to do for some. I learned this from Gary B a long time ago. If you ever watch Gary B, yeah, he's a little crass, but he's got some really great stuff. One of it is do for some what you want to do for everyone. So there's some people that watch my channel and I watch their videos. Part of it's because I'm engaged in their content. They're doing a great job. Adrian, I love your videos. I loved your live stream. I was at your live stream the other day. You did an amazing job. But I don't watch everybody's live stream. I don't watch everybody that subscribes to me videos. I can't. I would never do anything but watch videos if I watched everybody else's videos all day. I wouldn't have time to create my own. But I do for some what I wish I could do for all. There are a few people that I will watch, and I try to watch here and there. And I'll have channels where, you know what, I might watch their video this week, and next week I'll watch somebody else's video, and next week I'll watch somebody else's video. So I can keep that engagement. I can engage with a niche on their own channel. And I can really bring more information that helps them improve their channel because I'm bringing information based on what I saw on their own channel. And so that helps build that engagement with people. That helps bring that trust with people because I'm talking directly to my audience because I'm watching my audience's channels and telling them in my videos how they could improve their channel. Point blank. Now, hopefully other people that watch my channel are going to benefit from that as well. This is why I like doing channel reviews and stuff with people. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to engage more people and bring more people into my channel. One of the things, like one of the best ways I grew my part of the reason I grew my storage scavenger channel as fast during this pandemic, especially everybody that was stuck at home was going live like daily, some of them 2 or 3 times a day. Well, when you've got, 100 channels all going live every day, you got your pick of whose live stream you want to jump on. And I did that. I was on live streams every single day, not my own, other people's, engaging the niche, doing the same thing we talk about, doing what I'm doing right here, just talking to people about, not talking about YouTube growth, but talking about the business and the storage scavenging and what we were finding and how to get started in the business. That's how I grew that channel, by getting out there, jumping on people's live streams and helping people. Now, here's the key. You've got to then provide the value when get people, because it doesn't matter what you do when you're on somebody else's channel if they get to your channel and your content sucks. And that's why I talked about the content formula earlier. That's why I talked about looking at your analytics, all the stuff I talked about. So if you missed the beginning of this, make sure you go back and watch the beginning, because I talked about some of those things to break down what's going on in your video where you're losing people. Because if you're losing 80% of your traffic within the first 2 minutes of your video, like I did on the one I showed earlier, then you're not going to, it doesn't matter what you do on those other channels to engage people. But if you have everything set up and you're getting engagement on your videos and you're keeping people through your content, and then you're getting out in the niche and you're getting in front of as many people as you can, because they're going live every day because they're stuck at home and bored. So you start jumping on other people's live streams and talking to them and getting engaged, and then they let you share your link with their subscribers, and the people that are watching the live stream come and subscribe to your channel. That's how I grew both of my channels as quickly as I did. Not from YouTube search, it was from getting out and engaging people and talking about what we were doing. I started building this channel. How I built this channel was doing exactly the same thing. I started with reseller channels, but I've done it with a few other channels as well. I would just get out there, get on people's live streams, and we were talking to the audience. And I was just talking to the channel owners and talking to their audience about YouTube growth strategies and how to improve their channel, how to improve their content. I knew a lot of the people that were watching some of those live streams were other channel owners who were also struggling to build their channels. And I've built content around that on my channel already, but I got out on their channel and I didn't come say, hey, come subscribe to me, come subscribe to me. I went up there and I provided value. I shared with them some tips and strategies on how to do that. And then followed that up with, if you want to go deeper, if you want to know more about this stuff, subscribe to my channel. That's how you do it the right way. That's how you engage the niche. You provide a ton of value up front, and then you recommend them to taking them deeper into your content. By doing that, I built my channel. That's how I built my subscribership. I have very little traffic on this channel from search yet, because I've only got like 20 videos. I haven't triggered the algorithm with my content yet. And I'm working on that. And I'm looking at my own analytics. I'm looking at what people are subscribers are following to. I'm looking at how people are dropping off of my videos so I can make those tweaks and I can make those adjustments. I'm choosing what my next piece of content is by looking at my analytics and seeing how people responded to my previous content. And that's helping me to grow my channel, and it's growing faster and faster. Every video I put out, I'm getting more views. Every video I'm putting out, when these live streams, my last stream last week is probably the most video that I've had. I also know that live stream has been shared by several of the people that were on that live stream. I want to do channel reviews really badly too. Just start doing them. Best thing you can do, once you kind of have that checklist of things to look at, which D does really great. I don't know if you've been on D's members only live stream where he does channel reviews. Take notes of the things that he's talking about, not only as things you can apply to your own channel, but things you can coach other channels through as well. And that's what I do. Most of the things that I covered whenever I did a review on my own channel, basically on my last live stream, and I showed people how I set my channel up for success. That's really the same benchmarks that I'm looking at when I'm doing a channel review for somebody else. Yeah, when you get a computer, it'll be a lot easier. You can't share the screen on mobile. Yeah, I agree. It'll be a lot easier when you can get a view, but you can, talk people through some of those things as well. And then you can also, the other thing to think about, you can bring them on as a guest if they're on a computer and they can share their screen and pull up their channel so that you can do the screen share. And then all you have to do is approve the screen share, which you can do that through mobile. Yeah, doing it on a mobile device is extremely difficult. And I can tell you, when I first started the storage scavenger, I was doing everything mobile. Now, about 40% of my content is done on my mobile device. I still use my mobile devices for recording, but most of my editing, my live streams, all that stuff, I do it on the computer just because I have better connection. I can hardwire in. I get a faster editing speed. I've got better software for editing on my computer than what's available on mobile. So there's so much more opportunity with a desktop than with a mobile, but you can do it with mobile. And it's not that hard to do it with mobile. It's just easier with a computer. And if you learn how to do it the hard way and then you find the easier ways, but then if something happens, what happens if your computer goes down? You know how many channels would stop producing content because their computer went down and they have no clue how to do something off of their mobile device? So you're already in a position to, if something were to happen to your computer, or maybe something happened and you weren't home, you could still keep creating content because you can do it on your mobile. So knowing those skills will still be valuable even once you have a computer, because now you can do it even if your computer goes down. It doesn't become a crisis for your channel if you don't have your computer to create content with. So that's a huge benefit that you bring to the table by being able to do it on mobile. That's why I'm still learning stuff on mobile. That's part of why I'm active in Dee's group. I'm still learning how to do stuff on mobile, even though I have a computer and I primarily use a computer, because I want to be set up so that if something happens and I can't get to my computer, or like I'm doing a lot of traveling, my daughter's got health issues. We're having to travel for her doctor's appointments and stuff. While we're traveling, I can still continue producing content because I know how to do it on mobile. We got a collaboration that we're going to be doing Wednesday or Thursday of next week with another channel in the storage auction and reselling community, because they're up where we're going to be for my daughter's doctor's appointment next week. So we're going to do a collaboration video together. I'll be able to do that video, record it, edit it, and upload it all while we're there because I know how to do it on mobile. But I know a lot of people that would say, oh, I can't do the collaboration video until I get back home. I might record it, but I can't edit it. I can't upload it. I can't do any of the work because I have to get back to my computer before I can do anything. It might be 2 weeks before I get that video out instead of 2 days. So that's another thing is, do those things that can set yourself up for success no matter what happens. Do things that can help you create more engagement with your niche no matter what happens. Do things that always trying to think outside the box. I'm always trying to look outside of what other people do, and I look at what other people do. I take other people's advice, but I don't necessarily jump on it just because somebody said something. I mean, if I did what I'm going to go back to this other video I was showing earlier. Huge example. I love Daniel Batal. I've been following him for a long time, but his suggestion to me with my content was that this is one of my most viewed videos on my channel, and so I should make more of this video. But this video really tanked. 80% of my traffic gone in the first 40 seconds of the video. And then whenever I look at why, this is what I was showing earlier. Let's look at the reach. We reached 12,000 people through my impressions, almost 12,000 people, 11.9 thousand views, 4% impression click-throughs rate. This is over a year. So it was actually higher earlier in the year. It's dropped over time, 644 views. So that looks really, really great until you scroll down and you look at my traffic sources, and specifically the traffic source of YouTube search, which is where 70% of my traffic came from, was through YouTube search. But look at this, 35% of that came from dog pile challenge, not death pile challenge, which is the keyword that this somewhat optimized for. Even though I wasn't really doing keyword optimization, I fell into it. Dog pile challenge, which has absolutely nothing to do with my channel. Dog pile challenger has nothing to do with my channel. Dog pile has nothing to do with my channel. So this video was served to the wrong audience, which is part of why it tanked so bad within the first minute. So if I was just looking at views and impressions and click-through rate, I would probably base my channel content based off of something that didn't actually work. So you have to look at all of it. You have to look at the view retention and look at where that traffic came from, because YouTube didn't even show this video to the right audience, which is why it tanked. But if I just did what Daniel suggested and focused all of my content off of that one video, I would have been going in the wrong direction because I wasn't creating content that my audience was engaged with. So when you're creating your engagement for your audience, don't just look at one or two metrics. Look at the whole picture and then decide what the next piece of content you create is. Now, I do believe in looking at your previous content and seeing how people reacted overall to your content and focusing and niching down deeper based on how people reacted to what you created your content around. People who poop their pants. That's awesome. But you got to make sure that you're targeting the right audience. Sometimes YouTube serves it to the wrong audience, like they did with that one of mine. It happens. Even when you do all the keyword optimization and everything right, it happens. It gets served to the wrong audience. But sometimes it'll still get out to the right audience. So you've got to look at the whole picture. I have other videos that have less views, but higher engagement, higher watch time. One, I dropped that long intro. I fixed the audio problem. I now have a better mic. I fixed that problem that was early on. Within the first 10 seconds, the wind was blowing in my mic and you could hear was all you heard in the first 10 seconds of my video. Through my entire hook, where I'm supposed to be getting people's attention, all you heard was you didn't even hear a single word I said. So I didn't hook the audience. And then there's this long intro that was 30 seconds long. So by the time they got 40 seconds into the video, they don't know anything about my video. They don't even know anything about who I am or why they should listen to my video. And then I got into the content and I rambled on for like 2 minutes about nothing before I got into the content. So if I could cut the first 2.5 minutes off of that video, that probably would do really, really well. But I didn't. And I didn't know better, so I didn't edit it better. I didn't go back and try to re-record. That was over a year ago. I've learned so much. If I knew then what I know now, one, I wouldn't have had the intro. I would have redone the intro clip from inside where I didn't have that wind blowing and people could actually hear my hook. And I would have done a better hook. Honestly, the hook I did wasn't compelling enough. And I would have done more keyword optimization on the video itself so that I would have ranked higher. I could have ranked better for a better keyword, gotten more traffic, and probably blown it up even more. And then I would have followed it up with another video similar. Those are some of the things I would have done to do that one better, keep people more engaged. Once people got into the content, those people that pushed through all the really bad opening, that was one of the things I was talking about earlier. They stayed engaged because once I got past that hump, the retention stayed pretty solid throughout the whole video until the very end. So that was a good thing. When I had the right audience, they got past all the crap in the first part and they actually got into the content. Those people stayed and they stayed engaged on the video, which really, really helps YouTube say that's what you want. But you want that to be a higher percentage. You definitely want it to be a higher percentage whenever, 90% of your traffic is coming through search or 70% of your traffic comes through search. You don't want to be losing 80% of your traffic before they ever get past a minute of your video. And if you do that, then you've got them hooked, you've got them engaged. Hello, Yomi. I hope you have a great day. If you keep them engaged and hooked on what you're doing, then you're going to be able to create more engagement. That's how you start getting that 10% of your audience that's going to become what we call the raving fans. The more you engage, the more you connect with them on an emotional level, the more you do the things that we talked about as we talked about the content formula, and we started going into keeping people engaged, telling them how to solve their problem, but also telling them, making sure you're addressing the pain that problem causes and how you're going to alleviate that pain by doing what you tell them to do. One, you're going to get more people to take action than not, but you're also going to build that trust, that loyalty, and that authority that gives you raving fans, people that are going to follow you for no other reason than because you put out a piece of content. And when you get 1,000 raving fans, 10,000 raving fans, that's when your channel explodes on autopilot, and all you have to do is drop videos. Then you're not worried about trying to promote your video, trying to get people to know about your video, because your fans are doing that for you. That's one of the advantages of having those raving fans. They're sharing your videos, they're telling other people to come watch your content. That's what raving fans do for you. That's when you have people that become a brand advocate. One of my friends that is a master at doing this. Her channel's fairly small. She's bigger than me. It's Donatella Bodolino. And if you don't know Donatella Bodolino and you like auctions, you should check out her channel. She has an auction channel. Everybody that comes to her auctions feels like they're part of her family because she is that engaged with people. She is that friendly with people. She treats the people that come to her channel like they're part of her family. And because of that, and because she offers insane deals on stuff. She does these jewelry jars of jewelry that she finds in storage units. And she sells them for like maybe 40, 50, 60 bucks. Sometimes they get up to 100 bucks. But then people get them and they're finding diamond jewelry, gold jewelry, silver jewelry, stuff in there that's worth hundreds or thousands of dollars in these jewelry jars. She had a tea set that she showed to one of her followers. She sold it for $40. They got it appraised. It was worth over $500. Because she's done those kind of insane deals with people and she treats the people that come to her channel like their family, she has a huge following of raving fans, brand advocates that go out to their own channels or go out to other people's channels and tell people to come watch her channel and that they need to come to her auctions. That's how she's built her auction channel over just a little over a year. She's been running that auction channel, and she's grown it up. I think she's at about 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers now. And the reason why she has that kind of following is because she treats people like their family and she offers them awesome deals. I do this. I'm trying to kind of model what she does with my own channels. I try to learn from what she's done. And she doesn't understand how to read the analytics. She doesn't understand how to do half the stuff we talked about today, but she's doing a lot of it already naturally just because she is who she is and she's just being herself. But she treats everybody. I call her my YouTube mom because I go to her channel and I feel like I'm talking to my mom. And we kind of tease about it. But the fact is, she's got that kind of engagement on her channel. And I've learned a lot about the auction business from her. A lot of the things that I learned about how to do auctions on YouTube and monetizing my channel that way was through her. And that's one of my primary income streams from my family right now is running the auctions that we run. And she's the one that coached me on how to do it. And she's an engaged person. She's engaged. She has a lot of her core following, a lot of the core fans. She has their phone numbers and they have hers. We talk outside of YouTube. Are you building that kind of connection with your audience? Do you have at least, I wouldn't say give it out freely to everybody, but do you have at least some of your core fans that have your personal phone number that can call you and get a hold of you and say, hey, this is a question I'm having? If you can do that with your audience, you're going to start again, do for some what you wish you could do for all. I would be careful about who you give your phone number to, but do it for some. Get some people, there's a few people that have my personal phone number. They can call me if they have a question about their storage units. I have a few people that have my phone number. If they're having a trouble with their YouTube channel, they can pick up the phone and call me and I'll help them for free. I won't even charge them for it. One of the things I'm going to be adding into my services as I grow, as I build my authority, I'm going to be doing some coaching and consulting services right here through my channel. And, people will be paying me for those services, but I still have some people I'll do it for free, at least to a certain extent. I won't give you unlimited access, unlimited hours of my time because I have my own businesses to run. But I will, give some coaching and advice here. And sometimes we'll use that to create a video. Hey, if you're asking me this question and this is kind of the way you're understanding it, again, doing that kind of stuff is going to help you to know your audience better. Because if you're talking to them one-on-one, outside of just, what you see on chats and YouTube, you talk to them on the phone and you talk to them one-on-one, the people that are part of your core audience, then you can make more content that's going to directly speak to your core audience. So it helps you by being to be a better content creator. It helps them by answering their questions and helping them solve their problems. And it helps build that loyal fan base of raving fans, which is what I want you to do. I want to see you. Now, in general, probably less than 5 to 10% of your subscriber base or your fan base is going to be those raving fans. That's going to be about 5 to 10% of your fans. So you need to grow. This is why growth is so important. The more subscribers you grow, the more viewers you grow, the more raving fans you'll grow. So you want to get in there. But even if you've got a channel of 500 or 600 subscribers right now, you should have 5 or 6 raving fans who come to everything you do, that will come to content for just the sake that you put it out. Consulting is great, Adrian. Consultations is a great way to engage your audience, know your audience deeper, and also really dive deep. A lot of the things, we touch kind of on the surface, and we dive deeper than some of the other channels, but we still are just kind of touching the surface of what it takes to grow on YouTube. And we're talking about the strategies and we're talking about what we do. But whenever, like when I'm coaching somebody, and this is something I learned from doing it the wrong way when I was coaching before, when I'm coaching somebody, I pick like 1 or 2 things and we dive as deep down that rabbit hole as we can go. We look at something really deep. So like if you're struggling with thumbnails, we're going to look at really deep at your click-through rates across your whole channel and all your thumbnails and how to tweak them, and look at other thumbnails in your niche and how to really grow that impression rate. And the things that I teach with my coaching clients are the things I'm looking at with my own channel. When I'm analyzing my channel, when I'm looking at my videos and how to improve my videos, I'm doing the same thing for myself, because a lot of times I'll even tell myself, if I'm being stubborn about something, I would sit there and tell myself, if you were coaching somebody through this problem, what would you tell them to do? Then why aren't you doing that yourself? And I have this conversation going on with myself because I'm a little crazy and I do that sometimes. But I actually do that. I'll look at my own stuff and say, why aren't you applying what you would be teaching your clients if you were coaching them how to do it? And it kind of helps wake me up, and it helps me look at things from a different perspective. And then I can dive deeper into my own channel. I improve my channel more by coaching other people, because I learn so much more by coaching somebody else than I do from doing it myself. It's something that I found. That's why I love teaching. I love teaching because I learn more than my students do. And I understand things deeper. And then the funny thing is, this is the other thing, like you're talking about reading Brian G. Johnson's book. If you do what I told you earlier and you take it 1 chapter at a time, and you go and apply that chapter, and then you go on to the next chapter and you apply that chapter and you go on, and then you put it aside and you come back in 6 months and reread his book, you're going to look at it from a totally different perspective because of the experience you've gained in that time. And you're going to look at it and say, well, I didn't do this right. I didn't do this right. Even though you read it and did it and read it and did it, you're going to, because your perception changes, you've grown as a creator. So now you see things that you didn't see before. And so every time you reread that book, you're going to learn something new. So that's something I recommend you do. Read through his book, apply it chapter by chapter, then go back and reread it again after a few months and do the same process. Read it one chapter, apply what you learned. Read a chapter, apply what you learned. If you do that, you're going to grow exponentially, and you're already growing exponentially. You're grasping a lot of concepts that I see other channels that have been struggling for over a year, they're not getting. And you're doing it, and you're exploding, and you deserve it. You're doing a great job with your channel. But just keep doing that and applying it over and over again. Yep. I'm fixing to have to go myself. Actually, my wife's bugging me to get off the live stream. So I appreciate you guys showing up and helping us out and watching our channel. If you got some value out of this, if you think that these are some strategies that can help you, or if you do know somebody else that could be helped by this, make sure you share our video, give us a thumbs up. And after I finish the live stream, leave me a comment to let me know what it is you're struggling with getting that engagement. What is it in the content that you're struggling to connect with people on? Are you struggling with getting the hooks? Are you struggling with being able to articulate how you can help people with your channel? Are you struggling with understanding your own unique selling point? Leave me a comment below and let me know what those struggles are so I can help you dive deeper into your channel. Until next time, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the flip side.